And they spend from freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year doing hair. And they only need 1,000 hours, so by junior year, they've got their 1,000 hours, but their senior year, they're just doing clients. So when they hit the salons, they're so far ahead of everybody else that's looking for a job, it gives them a nice edge, and it's the same with you guys. The more you do here, this is where you do all those things that your instructors tell you, if you do this, it's gonna be a disaster. Do them. They didn't show it. No, don't do that, right? You know, do the old lady perms and leave the perm solution on too long and see if the hair really does fall out. Right?
No, we don't wanna try that.
Listen, they're old, they can be dead soon. It's okay. It's okay. Right? It's all right.
Oh my God.
Most things we can say, but yes, we can't.
And you know, you guys can take it, there's a lot of ways you can go with cosmetology too. So, why become a cosmetologist? What was the deal? Why did you choose cosmetology?
I've always been
Few
into.
reasons.
To make people happy and feel beautiful.
Oh, you're so full of baloney.
No, I'm serious. I was in healthcare.
It's to make money.
I'm so saddled.
My mom
To be the
made
cool
me.
mom.
Oh yeah.
My mom, whose mom made them? I'm gonna call your mom.
And I've been in the business for 38 years.
Oh, you're still just a kid. Just a kid. No, seriously, why are you doing Cosmo?
I'm in nursing and I want something a little less stressful where the hours weren't as long like normal.
You think this is not as stressful?
Well, I like
In nursing,
people.
you can give them a pill and they knock them out.
Oh my
Can't
God.
do that in our business. Good though. What about you?
I've always had a passion for it.
Yeah.
And I worked in healthcare for 4 years
Really?
and
So second career?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, how about you?
I did not want to work fast food during college, and I started out with my interest with waxing. I grew up waxing my sister's friends or my mom's friends,
Good.
and I thought I wanted to be an esthetician, but then I was like, I might as well do cosmetology so I can,
Good.
not waste
You
time.
get more, well, if you become a cosmetologist, you can do all the others. You can be an esthetician, you can be, is that separate license in Ohio? Esthetician license is not bundled under?
Yeah, it
If
is.
they get a cosmetology, they should be able to do nails
They
and
can do everything.
and spa.
yeah.
If you do an esthetician license, that's all you can do.
Right.
You don't even do nails, right?
Right, we have spa now, which is nails and
And
aesthetics combined.
aesthetics, good.
And
good.
no hair.
And no hair.
And what is your dream?
My dream?
Yeah,
To own my own business, my own hair salon one day.
yeah?
Mhm.
If you get gray hair yet?
I do.
This is what happens when you own your own
I
salon.
get gray hair already.
You do?
That's my mom, I blame her.
Anybody have family in the business?
In the business, no.
Your mom, I know where you're working. So you're gonna push your mother right out of the salon and you're gonna take over.
No, she doesn't work anymore.
Oh, she
but
doesn't?
She was a cosmetologist
Very good,
for
very
almost
good.
30 years.
All right, well, listen, my name is Tony and I'm with All Nutrient. And I've had the pleasure of meeting your instructor, Sylvia especially. We've had a nice relationship since we met at the Ohio show a long time ago now. Couple, 3 years?
That and then North Carolina back in 2000. I
Way
think.
back, yeah, way back,
24
way back.
years. Wow.
Wow, way back. So, today we're gonna spend a little time and we're gonna talk about hair color. Why do you think that schools focus so much on the hair color aspect of cosmetology?
It's the main portion.
That's where you're gonna make your money.
Yeah.
And you're gonna look at yourself, I hope, a little differently someday, and think of yourself as an artist, not a technician. When you become a technician, that's like regimented, you know? You've gotta do everything exactly the same. But when you're artist, you give yourself license to express. And when you do cosmetology, it's really an expression of art. You know, I've been doing hair, I'll give you my background. I've been doing hair 54 years this year, 54. I've had my own salon 50 years and I still have the salon. We just started, April 15th is the beginning of our 50th year in the same location.
Aw,
Someone should-
congratulations.
Why am I not retired, right? Why am I- Because I really like it, number one. And then I've been working with All Nutrient for about 30, I think this is 33 or 34 years, checking it, we were talking about that last week. And I really like what I do, and I love to teach, and I like to interact, and I really get a thrill out of seeing new people excel in a craft that we have made good strides in over the years. I mean, look, it's a lot of work. And it's like everything else in life, if you put the work into it, you're gonna get back the reward. If you don't put the work in, you're not gonna get back the reward. So let's go back to the art thing. When you talk about expressional art, it's like going to an art museum. And when you go to an art museum, like, you get this sunflower painting behind us over there near the wall. You either look at it and you either like it, you could live with it, or you absolutely hate it. And that's how customers will perceive you. Either they like you a lot because of the way you interpret their style, their color, the way you style them out, whatever, or they'll tolerate you because you're good and it's okay and they're not very fussy, or they just flat out hate you. Don't be upset when people don't come back. Don't take it personally when people don't come back. I'm sure that happens here at the school. There are customers who maybe come in and say, oh, don't give me the Doris, please, don't give me Doris. Last time I had Doris, it didn't go so well. So, you flip Miss Bitch back to somebody else, right? But those are the people you're gonna run into in life all the time, because it's an expression of our art, and either they like it or they might not. And don't be offended, people still go to the art gallery and they look at all the paintings, but then they kind of focus on the ones they like the most. And that's where your clientele is gonna come from. People that associate with you either because of your personality, of the way you do hair, or the way you treat them. I mean, I like people. You better like people in this business. I like people. And I always make it a point to make people feel welcome. That's how I was raised. That's how my whole being has been. Customer service, I guess. My dad owned a little variety store. We were taught from the age of 6 that when somebody walked in the door, you say, hello, hi, how you doing? Can I help you? Art and I were just talking about this. We were in a salon last time I was out here, and the two of us walked in. We were standing at the desk. Nobody said a word. We felt like two salamis hanging to dry. Like, nobody. I finally went over and said, "Hi, is so-and-so here?" "Oh, she's in the back room." I mean, would it hurt someone to say, "Hi, how you doing?" I mean, I'm sure you do that here when somebody walks in, right? Do you guys have to take a shot at the reception desk here on a rotation basis, or?
We
No,
just
you
all
don't
kind
do
of help
that?
each other out.
The other pet peeve is if the phone rings, will somebody answer a phone? I hate it when salon people say, it'll go to voicemail and I'll call her back tomorrow or tonight. Well, what if it's an emergency? Someone had a death in the family and they really need to come in like today and you're not gonna get back to them. That's a great way of losing people. Answer the phone. It rings for a reason. There's somebody on the other end who wants to talk to somebody. Of course, it could have a telemarketer too. If that's the case, just hang up, right? I like hanging up on telemarketers. Now there's a job I couldn't do, right? So, I thought today, I know you guys are in the middle of your color education right now, right, this group?
No, we were just doing a little review, but they've all.
No, but you've all been exposed a little bit to color. So what I thought I'd do today is kind of give you like what's really in the super color. Because you're gonna be exposed to a lot of different things when you leave school. Right here, right now, you're using all nutrient color. Now, you might go to work for a salon that maybe all nutrient is not their color of choice, and I think it's important for you to know all the components of hair color. Not that you're gonna ever remember all of this, and if you do, good for you. I have to go refresh myself every once in a while. But it'll give you a better perspective of what the quality of what you're using now is, and where you're going, you might wanna drag us along with you. And that's, honestly, that's why we deal with the schools. We want you to be exposed to us so that later in life, down the road, when you open up your own salons, you'll bring us in with you and we'll help you grow your business and help you fulfill your needs. So, what's different about All Nutrient that maybe other companies that you might know and might not know are similar, but they're different? What makes us different? Well, for one, we make our own hair color in our own factory in Manchester, New Hampshire. And someday, Sylvia was up to our place for a couple of days. I bored her to death with 3 days of listening to me talk. And it's something that's unique. Most color is not made by the person whose name is on the box. Did you guys know that? So, there was a lot of companies, I can name some for you without pissing anybody off, from EC, Joico, Weller now. Matrix is a L'Oreal product, so it's made by L'Oreal, but it's not Matrix, it's made by L'Oreal.
Right.
The same as Redken is made by L'Oreal, not Redken. So, a lot of these, Schwarzkopf is another one, Toco Magico, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of brands. They don't make their color. Most of the world's color comes out of Milan, Italy. Some comes out of Spain, some comes out of Portugal, very little. There's one factory now in Portugal. A lot of product is starting to come out of Brazil. And the reason is there were no laws in Brazil. They can put arsenic in product and it's okay. There's too many Brazilians, I guess, so they need to thin out the herd. So and that's one of the reasons why a lot of color is not made in the United States, because our government is very, very strict on what is in hair color. We have to document it. We're the organic people too, which puts another spin on the government intruding in our life. They're in and out of our building all the time, inspecting our organic products to make sure that what we say on the box is truly what you're getting in the tube. So they'll come in, they'll pull color, they'll pull some product, and they bring it to their labs, and they analyze it, they do it, and then we get our certifications. So we're different because we make our own product from scratch. And it's not like it comes in like a Kia, all the parts come in from Korea, and then they assemble it in South Carolina. That ain't the way. The way it works is, we start with an empty tank, and we build our color ourselves. We start with an empty tank, and we make our shampoos ourselves. Bless you. Conditioners, styling products. Everything that you see in the All Nutrient line, except for two things. We don't make our own white and blue lightning. It's made for us in Italy because we don't have an explosion-proof building. And our hairsprays, aerosols, are made outsourced because, again, we don't have an explosion-proof building. Other than those two items, everything else that we sell, we make. So I can tell you exactly what's in this, where other manufacturers' reps or educators can't. They can only tell you what they were told, not what's technically in the package. I had a call yesterday, somebody wanted to know, is there caffeine in our color? Because they have a woman in the chair who's deathly allergic to caffeine. The answer is no, there is no caffeine, but my answer to her was, read the back of your box. Every ingredient that's in this tube is written on the back of the box, which is not the case with a lot. Some manufacturers write the ingredients on the inside of the box, and you have to tear the box open to get to it. We put it right on the back, so we made it really easy for everybody to understand what's in the color. So, that's the big story of All Nutrient. We've been around this is our 40th year with All Nutrient. We're having a big 40th anniversary party this summer at the plant. And we started making color, now it's almost 20 years. Our color came from Italy originally. We did what everybody else did. We had our own color in a tube from Italy. And when you pick color in Italy, you don't get to pick the base, the product that's in it. All you get to pick is the tone. What color blonde do you want? How red is your red? How brown is your brown? How light is your lightest? How dark is your darkest? But you don't get to pick the important stuff. The stuff that makes the hair feel good. The stuff that conditions the hair. The stuff that balances and makes the hair laugh. The stuff that maintains the cuticle and the base of the hair, the internal structure of the hair, the salt bonds, the helixes, the matrices, the micros, you guys studied all this stuff, right? All right? All this is important to us, where in Italy, it's just the liquid that delivers the color to the hair. That's all they care about. And they have rooms with swatches, and you walk around and say, I like these reds, I like these browns, and I like these ashes, and then they build a book out of it, and then they just make it and send it to them. They have no affiliation with what's in the tube. That's not the case with All Nutrient. Now, we're organically based. How important is organics to you guys? I hope I'm living proof that I shouldn't be here. I've ingested more carcinogenics probably than anybody on the planet, being a hairdresser for over 50 years. I've inhaled thousands of cans of hairspray. I've gone home with my nose stuck together from the old lacquer sprays, which we don't use anymore. So now we're giving you guys a healthy alternative to make your life a better life, to make your life healthier for you and your client. But you know what? The client's exposed to hair color, what do you figure, once every 5 or 6 weeks, right? If you're in a good working salon and you are a good worker and you have a big clientele, you might do 5, 6, 7 colors a day. That means that your hands and your respiratory system and through saturation, you're gonna be exposed to a lot more hair color than any one client will in a year in one day. Think of the options here. You know, the cancer rate among hairdressers used to be pretty high. It's come down a lot. And it's come down because finally we're realizing that some of the products that we were all using were pretty strong and pretty harsh and needed some change for our health. Not so much the client. Again, the client's important, but our health is important. Without health, you can't work. Without health, you don't have any stamina. Without health, you don't have any income, right? So that was something of a challenge when All Nutrient came into being. That was one of our goals. We wanted to take chemistry or harsh chemistry or not organic chemistry out of the equation and substitute in organic chemistry. And we did, because when we first started, all we did is shampoos, conditioners, and styling products. And we started working with organic products, components within those products. And all of a sudden, we got reactions from hairdressers saying, my hands were always crappy, brittle, cracked, especially in the wintertime. Saturday couldn't come quick enough. Your mom can probably attest to that. And a lot of people left the business because their hands were so bad and it's always infected. I mean, even myself, when I first started in the business, we used to call it the crud. You had the Saturday crud. By Saturday, your hands were cracked, bleeding, shedding, peeling, and then Saturday night, you went home, you got your prescription creams, white gloves, you lathered them up, you lived the 2 days and 3 days in the gloves to get ready to get back to work on Tuesday. It's the way we roll. Now, no irritations, no more breaking of hands, no more bleeding, no more cracking, because finally, products have gotten better. So, let's go through what's in a tube of color. Is it okay if I?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's talk about the base. Everything starts with a base. You know, the better the base of anything, the better that product's gonna be. So, you know, if you make soup, any of you guys cook? You know, if you buy one chicken wing and you try to make 50 gallons of soup, hence Campbell's soup, does it taste any good? But if you take a whole chicken, you're only making one pot with water, you get that strong, nice flavor, it's a better soup. A house is built on a foundation. A good foundation will assure that the house will last a long time. A lousy foundation, the house is gonna shift, crack, crumble, eventually fall over. So it's all about the base. So All Nutrient Base starts off with certified organic vegetable derived proteins. That's pretty good penmanship for this early on. Certified when possible. Now, on the back of the box, everything is labeled. Everything that's in this color is in the back of the box, okay? Everything that's in bold green is a certified organic ingredient, bold green. Okay? So, certified when possible means some of these things that are not bold green are not certified. They're not available. Things that grow naturally in the rainforest or in the swamps of Florida, some of these cupuachu and shea butter and all that, it grows wild. It cannot be certified organic, even though nobody is cultivating it, because it's the way it is. The rainforest is a natural occurring, recurring resource. Nobody plants it, it just grows. But things are harvested. Some of the nuts, by the way, there's no peanut oil, no walnut oil, no nut oil. Coconut is in here, but coconut is technically not a nut, all right? It's not a nut. but because of the allergy, and you guys have an allergy to peanut butter? No? I was on a plane coming down yesterday, they made the announcement, we have a client on board who's allergic to peanuts. Please, if you brought anything with peanuts on board, do not open it, do not use it, don't have it while you're on the plane. Because one person out of 100 and some odd has a peanut allergy. Where do we go wrong? When I grew up, everybody ate peanut butter. Now kids can't eat peanut butter. Right? So, natural or certified. That's what's the base of our product is. The other thing that we have is we have essential fatty acids. Can I get a bottle of the pure oil? Sure. And you know what, Sylvia? You might as well give me the clarifying treatment, the protein complex, the proteinizer, you know, the chemical, all right? Essential fatty acids. We use food grade, small molecular, organic, certified, when possible, and most of them now are, hair, oils. It's part of our emulsion system. Now, this is a big deal because up until then, recently, they were using petroleum-based oils, almost like Vaseline type of a conglomerate to kind of bind everything together. No more. We started using essential fatty acids, and now a lot of manufacturers are copying us by using a natural blend of natural certified oils. So the other thing that's important, that we are 100% vegan. Anybody here a vegan? No? Good. I hate vegans. How can you not eat meat? Really? Come on. I have a daughter-in-law who's a vegan. She's a real pain in the ass. She'll bring her tofu turkey. You know, we have a summer cookout. She'll bring a veggie burger. And little does she know, I cook it right on the same grill with the beef, so. But there are people that might come into your salon that are gonna ask you a question. Do you have a vegan color line? So now your answer is gonna be yes. 100% vegan. And there are some people that are vegan because their bodies do not tolerate animal byproducts. That's the reason. Those are the ones that is of interest to us. You have other vegans who say, well, I just don't like the way animals are treated and raised and then slaughtered and then processed and frozen, and then we put them on a grill and we eat them and they taste good. You know, well, yeah, well, that's part of life. You know, we have to sustain ourselves. You can't live on just vegetables. You do need some protein, right? The other thing, we are also 100% gluten free. Anybody here gluten intolerant?
My daughter is.
Your daughter is? Pain in the ass, isn't it?
It is.
How bad is she?
We're just not finding it out. Like she.
How old is she?
She's 1.
She's 1?
Yeah.
You're in for a long haul.
I'm well aware.
I'll tell you my gluten story. My granddaughter, who is now 20, it's been a long, arduous tour with this kid. When she was a baby, they said, oh, she's colicky. Just give her the colicky medicine. That didn't really help her. And then they said, well, she has irritable bowel. That didn't help. Then they tried her on this medication, that medication, all the way through life. Sophomore year of high school, she hit a break point. She just had a meltdown. Like, why can't I be like other kids? I can't play sports. I don't have the stamina to play sports. I can't participate because I'm always tired. Almost like that chronic fatigue syndrome. Or even like, they thought she might have Lyme disease.
Oh wow.
They actually, because it's very similar in the systematic part of it. So, long story short, they finally took her into Boston, into Tufts Medical in Boston, and she spent 4 days in the hospital, and they did the complete upper GI, lower GI, endoscopy, colonoscopies, blood labs, you name it. They went stem to stern on the kid, and they found out that she has celiac disease. And celiac disease is a direct cause or triggered by glutens. Anything from wheat is a gluten. So she cannot eat anything with gluten. She is so allergic to glutens that she buys her makeup online and she buys a gluten-free makeup base because even surface contact triggers an attack. So she's learned to not go near gluten. The tough part, social end of the world. Bunch of kids after school say, hey, we're going down the mall to go get something to eat, you wanna go? Can't go. Why not? There's nothing down there I can eat. Everything's gluten. She cannot go into a bakery because there's a gluten vapor in the air. So, I mean, this is debilitating. She's now in college, and luckily the college is now in Williamsport. And they have a gluten-free cafeteria, food court, just for people, and there's a lot of people there. I guess it's like a bigger problem than I ever knew. So if you ever have the opportunity, or anybody comes into your salon and says, by the way, I am gluten intolerant, or I have celiac disease, or Crohn's, that's the other one that falls in this bucket, and I hope for your daughter's sake, you catch it quickly. Don't stop until you get a result.
It's like more so like contact right now, like her.
Yeah, but that's how it
face is
starts. It's like you
yeah.
get stung by the bee once, and you get a little irritation, you get stung again. Every time there's exposure, the irritation becomes more dramatic.
Yeah.
So she's gonna get to a point, I hope not, but
Me too.
you can honestly say to people, we have 100% gluten-free and 100% vegan product line, which is huge. So those are things that most manufacturers don't get into, because it's not anything that's big. We did, maybe it was because of my interaction with my granddaughter that I kind of pushed on this one. The vegan thing, that was by accident, I'll be 100% honest with you. When we were all done making a lot of our products, we realized we have no animal byproducts in anything. That makes us vegan. Huh, who knew? And then we decided to go with it. But this was intentional, because my granddaughter colors her hair. And up until then, if I colored her hair, she would have a reaction and she'd be home in bed for 2 or 3 days, not right away. It took like a week. And then she would have her reaction. So, not good. Essential fatty acid, here it is. So this little guy, have you guys seen our pure oil?
Love it.
Love it. You can put this on skin, thank you. On skin, you can put this in perm solution. You can put this in hair color, you can put this in lightener. And if you ever put this on your skin, just a couple of drops, it's amazing the way the pants are leaning. So, tall marketer.
I did that I got my underarms waxed the other day, and
Yeah.
Sylvia gave me that for my underarms.
Right.
They hurt so bad, and it hurt a lot.
What caused the irritation?
I don't get my underarms waxed a lot, but it just hurt, because, I mean, they were just sore from getting waxed.
Okay, all right. And that helps.
It helps.
A lot of people, a lot of salon owners, a lot of people in the institution world, when they do facial waxing, always follow up with pure oil. I'll tell you one thing that they do with this, they put this in a cooler, a refrigerator, and cool it.
Oh.
So when you put it on after wax, it cools, because it's the heat from the wax, it's almost like a soft chemical burn.
See, so I learned something today.
Look at you.
I tried to bring something new to the table, and
Manicuring too.
this was accidental, by the way. In New England, up in the Boston area, it was pretty cold. Our order came in, and we needed some oil, and one of the girls was doing the wax, and the customer is always very, very sensitive. We try to put the temperature of the wax down as low as we can, and she needed the oil, and when she put it on, it was cold, and it worked so well, so now we keep a bottle in the fridge. Keep it in the fridge.
I'll take that little tidbit back.
There we go. So that's the essential fatty acids. And on the back of this bottle is a list of all the bold green oils that are in here. Saffron oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, rice bran oil, sunflower oil, tocopherol, vitamin E, vitamin B. It's all in here. It's a blend. When we first launched this oil, we did it with a stir-fry, the Japanese steakhouse. You ever heard of Benihana's? We did it with a Benihana chef. We had a big demonstration where he used the oil during his cooking, but there's preservative in it, so no, don't go home and cook with it. Can't do that. Okay, essential fatty acids. We put vitamins and minerals in our hair color. Why do you think we do that? Did you ever hear the old expression, you are what you eat? There are people who deprive themselves of certain things. Like some people say, I don't eat any fat. That's not me. I eat fat. I love fat. The more fat, the better. Fat is taste to me. Like there are people who eat a steak and they buy the leanest cut and then they cut away every tiny little bit of fat. There are people who eat chicken that do not eat the skin of a chicken because of where the fat layer is. So if you don't have a balance in your body, right? Or if you don't eat a balanced nutritional regimen, what's gonna suffer? Hair and nails. The body's last line of gaining nutrients are the hair and the nails. People that are sickly, you can tell by their nails. Their nails are dry, they're brittle, they're cracked, they split. Their hair becomes very lifeless, mealy, doesn't motion, there's no motion. You can tell there's something wrong just by feeling their hair. You'll get there. You're gonna be exposed to a number of people in your career that you can tell during COVID. Did you ever hear the COVID hair thing? You know what COVID
I
is?
lost mine.
You lost hair?
I lost a lot of
A
hair.
lot of hair. COVID was a syndrome with hair. And people say, oh, that's, and all the scientists said, no, that's impossible. It wasn't. COVID was a syndrome where people lost hair or their hair changed. People that had good body, all of a sudden, their body's not there anymore. Like, what happened? The body took anything it could find to supplement the body, the core, it drags it out of the hair and nails. So we put vitamins and minerals in our hair color, in our shampoos, in our styling products, to supplement what the body is lacking or is needing, or that might be drawing out of the hair. So we were looking to do a replacement system. Our goal was to put more in than what we're taking out and have the hair be in better condition afterwards. We use lipids. Anybody ever hear of Olaplex?
Yes.
Okay. Olaplex is kind of a lipid, but it's kind of a roundabout way. Lipids are bond strengtheners. When we work with hair color, we're working with the hydrogen bonds of the hair. When we work with permanent waves, you're working with the systemic bonds of the hair. And then we have the salt bonds, right, and the hydrogen bond. So lipids are an item, an organic item, that actually strengthen the bonds of the hair. Not cationic proteins, which some manufacturers use that, I don't know if you've ever heard, but too many proteins can actually dry hair out. That's not the proteins that we're using. That's why we're using vegetable proteins, not the cationic proteins. These will not dry the hair out. And lipids will keep the hair intact. They will pull everything together, tighten the bonds without over tightening or snapping, but strengthen the bonds of the hair so that the hair, look, the better the core, the better the overall condition of the hair. All right? Now, we have some things in here that we no longer have. One is we no longer use propylene glycol. Did you ever hear of propylene glycol? It's in everything. It's in everything. It's a petroleum-based product. It's an emulsifier, okay? They use it in cooking, they use it in food, they use it in manufacturing. Anytime you have pieces that have to be bonded together so they don't re-separate, they use a glycol. We used to use propylene glycol, but it comes from petroleum and it's a very harsh glycol. So instead, we switched and we went to a product called Zimia, or propane diol, or propanadol, or some people say it. It's made by Dow Corning. It's made from corn. It's a sugar glycol. Sugar is also a bond strengthener. Sugar is a bond strengthener. You can actually do a sugar treatment on someone's hair and get a really good result. You could mix sugar, preferably a raw sugar, or a brown sugar that still has some molasses in it. You could mix it with pure oil and some of the protonizer, and you can make a paste. And you can actually make a sugar mask for hair that does an amazing job on the hair.
Which product did you say you could mix it with?
Protonizer, which is a liquid spray-on, okay? And you add the oil, and you add the sugar, and you mix it up and make it a paste. You pop it on, and you will get a beautiful feel of the hair. So propane diol is corn, natural, GMO-free. Did we have to use it? Nope. This one was all accepted and approved by our government. we felt we could do better with this one. We're the only manufacturer in the world using Zimia as a binder. The analogy for propylene glycols, you get on the salad dressing aisle of your grocery store and you see the oil and vinegar dressings and they're separated, right? And then you see the creamy dressings right next to them and they're not separated. And they also contain oil and vinegar, don't they? How come they don't separate the glycol? So whenever manufacturers blend things together and they need to make it a cream instead of just a liquid, they use some kind of a glycol to keep it from separating. In hair color, we had to be very careful that products didn't separate, because if the dyes separate from the base, we have a problem. So this was very, very effective. Much more expensive, much more expensive. Okay, bless you. All right, that takes care of the base. Now, let's talk about kickers. The cream color of our nutrient, we use ammonia. How many of you guys think ammonia is natural? You do? Prove your case.
I'm not sure.
The defense is calling our next witness, an expert on ammonia. How do you know what made you think it was?
Something that you can get from that environment or the earth, but I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Process it.
Huh?
Isn't it in worm pee? Like literally?
And warm what?
Worm pee, like worm urine.
I didn't know
Oh,
it
yeah.
was urine.
Like in the dirt.
Really?
So it is not, yeah, that's what it puts off.
Okay,
actually.
well, maybe there is, I don't know.
I mean,
I've never heard that explanation, but I'll buy it. You were convincing, I would buy that. All nutrient is now using worm urine in our hair color. All that,
I don't know
no.
if that would make somebody really want to,
People are buying
That's natural.
snail mucin, that's fine.
Do you think ammonia is
I've heard
100%
snail
I
organic?
thought it was, but I don't know about 100%
Huh?
organic.
It is 100% organic. Did you guys take chemistry in high school?
Yeah.
Remember the periodic table of elements?
Yeah.
Right? Ammonia is NH4, nitrogen and hydrogen. Two pure elements blended together to make a secondary compound that is still organic. Under the rules of chemistry, an element can either be created or destroyed by man, but it can be combined to make secondary elements that are still dominant to their nature. So this is 100% natural. So when people come into you and they say, I want an organic hair color that has no ammonia, you know what your answer should be? There is no such animal. Because the alternative to ammonia is something called MEA. Did you ever hear of MEA? Monoethylamine. 100% synthetic. 100% synthetic. Man-made. Ammonia is natural. Are you using keratin here also? You are. Our keratin has AMP, which is aminomethylpropanol. That has an organic tag to it, but not as organic as ammonia. Why do we need ammonia? What does ammonia do in hair color, do you think?
Like the color bond, or the hair bond or something.
No, it has two functions.
Oh, it's love.
Huh? Ammonia's got two functions. Number one, it swallows the hair shaft and opens the cuticle. It's like a key. It's the key to that lock back there. Without this key, I can't get into the hair, because hair should be closed down. The cuticle on the hair should be down. The cuticle should be down and solid enough that superficial contact should not cause it to open. So our first goal is we have to get into the hair to make a difference. So ammonia is the catalyst that allows us entry into the hair shaft. I mean, when you really think about everything that we do with hair color, it's pretty amazing. You take a filament of hair that you really can't see, and we can lift it, we can color it warm, we can color it cool, we can color it neutral, we can bleach it, we can recolorize it, and it still maintains its integrity, which is pretty amazing when you think of all the things that we can do to something that by itself, if there was a hair on the floor, you would never find it. But yet, we can do all those things to a hair. So ammonia is our choice of a catalyst that allows us entry. The second thing that it does is it mixes with, well, let's go to peroxide. Does anybody think peroxide is organic? Yeah?
The elements are on the elemental.
What's the properties of peroxide?
Isn't it oxygen, hydrogen, with different amounts than one?
H2O2, right? H2O2. Another organic. So everything I talked about so far is all organic. The only thing that's left to talk about is the dyes. The dyes organic? Can't?
It can.
Can?
Yes.
It can? So if we're making a nice copper color, we're grinding up carrots. If we're doing red, we're using tomatoes and pomegranates. I don't know what we would do. Oh, ash blondes would have to be some kind of a green. Maybe peas and carrots, I don't know. No, that wouldn't be an ash blonde. But no, the dyes are not organic. There is no such thing in this world yet as an organic dye. The dyes are aniline-derived dyes. But we do have a uniqueness in our dye. Most dye companies use standardized dyes. And they usually use 5 or 6 combos of primary, tertiary, and secondary colors. We use small, refined coupling dyes that are this small, or smaller, they're microscopic. And we use anywhere from 11 to 15 combinations of dyes in every shade of color. That's why, if you've been using All Nutrient Color, you're seeing the fact that it's not a flat, lusterless, blah color. There's a lot of life to it. And when you do a brown, you get a little bit of red, you get a little copper, you get brown, obviously, but you get a lot of secondary tones that fit into that give it that natural, lifelike, real color. It doesn't look like you dipped them in a bucket of paint. You know the term multi-dimensional hair color that was made popular during, well, we are ultra multi-dimensional. Why don't more companies use these dyes? The analogy would be like a dye that's like a grain of sand or a dye that's like powdered sugar. Our dyes are like powdered sugar. So I can put a lot more complexity of tone into the color with the small molecular dyes than I can with these bigger dyes. These are cheap. These cost mucho dineros. That's why they don't use it. Secondly, in Italy, they would never use these dyes. They only use these. So there's no such thing as the small refined dyes coming out of Italy or Portugal or Spain or Brazil. They use the standardized dyes, the industry standard for 100 years. Miss Clairol, Wella Charm, all the liquids, Rue, that's all they use, and they're still using them today. Where we've progressed to newer dye forms, they're more refined and they're more intricate. And when blended together, you get a lot of beautiful tones. Who's got All Nutrient Color in their hand? Anybody? You do. You do? Okay. Our reds don't fade, our browns are brown, our blondes are blonde. The retention of the hair is what's important, and this is what gives you your retention from here to, well, I would say probably to here, because of the property. Our goal is to make hair feel better after a color than it was before. Have you noticed here at the school, when you do a color service, that the hair feels good? It's not an artificial feel good, it's a real deal feel good, because we have filled that hair shaft from the inside and left it, when we got out, close the cuticle down, and we lock in everything that we put in it. That's what makes the hair feel good, and we're conditioning the cuticle to soft close. So when all's said and done, if the condition of the hair is better, and I've got the dyes to support the color scheme, the hair shaft should be stronger, healthier, more manageable, and the cuticle should be closed, which gives you shine. There's a difference between me putting a shine product on somebody's hair and me closing the cuticle down and getting the hair to shine naturally. Two different things. And we can put crap in the hair and make any dull head look shiny, but is it really healthy? No, But when you close the cuticle, you are making that hair healthy, because you're locking in the nutrients that you just put in the hair. Sound interesting? Now, there's a test. Did you tell them about the test?
Yeah.
There's a test. Okay, so, let's talk a little bit about peroxide. What's peroxide? It's your catalyst for lift, right? So CPL down here, that's a 5-volume developer. And on the keratin, that would be demi-developer. It's a liquid developer, okay? Then you have, and this is for deposit only, all right? Anything with a volume of less than 7 will not break the base of hair. So this is designed to be worked on somebody with porosity, someone with fine, brittle, over-bleached, over-processed, damaged hair. And you can damage hair without bleach. I mean, you can damage hair with a blow dryer and a flat iron or a curling iron, hot rollers. There's a lot of ways to damage hair. So if somebody was gonna come in and they were wanting to do a refresh and the hair was really damaged, I would certainly think about using the deposit only. Then we have a 10 volume for 1 level of lift, 20 volume, 2 levels of lift, 30 for 3, 40 volume for 4. We did a class yesterday in a very good salon, and I asked, how many of you guys use a lot of 40 volume? The answer was, we don't. We don't use any 40. And I said, how do you get 4 levels of lift? We use bleach, we foil. I said, why wouldn't you just use 40 volume? It's too harsh, it's too aggressive. It burns the scalp. I said, have you ever used it? No. Well, how do you know? Do you guys use 40 here at the salon on scalp?
It depends, like, we don't get a lot of clients using the 40.
We haven't had
Norwalk has a few.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tool. It's a tool, and it's a safe tool. You know, and we talked about this yesterday for over an hour with this group, because they were adamant, there's no way in hell I'm gonna use 40 volume on scalp. 40 volume on scalp. But yet, they will mix 30 and 40 volume with lightener, where it specifically says on the package of lightener, do not use more than 20 volume developer. Says it right on the package. But yet, they will use that with 30 and 40. But the thing is, well, it's off scalp. Well, where is the healthiest hair in everybody's head? Scalp. And where is the most unhealthy hair on your head?
The ends.
The ends. So if I'm foiling, and I'm using lightener, and I'm using 40 volume developer, and I'm pulling that lightener all the way out to the ends, aren't I stressing the ends of that hair out? Yeah. And then after we had this discussion, one girl said, oh, so you're saying that hair color is milder than lightener? Duh. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Hair color is a control. Lightener, it's just like gasoline. It's just gonna do its thing. It's not discriminate. Hair color is a very finite system of lifting and then depositing. Okay? So, with 40 volume, you know, timing obviously is important. Do you guys know the timing for all these developers? Like if I use 20 volume, how long do I leave it on for?
Is it 45 minutes?
It's, okay, new rule. Level of developer, it's in the book, but I'm sure, remember, level of developer plus 10 to 15 minutes. And I don't care whose hair color you use. That's across the industry now. Level of developer, 10 to 15 minutes. So if I'm using 5 volume, 15 to 20 minutes. If I'm using 10 volume, it's 20 to 25 minutes. 20 volume, 30 to 35. 40 volume, 50 to 55 minutes. That's a lot of time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But do I have to really worry about damaging the hair? Why not?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You said level of volume plus 15.
Level
10 to
of
15
developer
minutes.
plus 10 to 15 minutes, correct. So, will it destroy hair? Can it?
I think so.
No, it doesn't cover stuff oxidizing after certain,
Say that again?
like the oxidization stops, so.
How long do you think, that's a great question, that's a good question. So, if I'm using 10, 20, 30, 40, how long is color active for?
It's gonna act faster with a higher volume.
Did you do that thing yet with them?
Not with them.
All right, then I won't give it
I'll
away.
do it.
Yeah, okay, I won't give it away. So the answer is,
I think, we'll do it this.
okay, it's all the same. The level of activity, the time, the active cycle of hair color, whether I use 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume, it's all the same. It's 16 to 18 minutes. That's when the color, the ammonia, the peroxide, and everything that's mixed in is at its most active state. It starts off here and then slowly starts to weaken and weaken and weaken until the ammonia is gone. This is gone. Ammonia vapes back into the atmosphere. It wants to go to gas. Peroxide goes from H2O to H2O2 to H2O, which is what? Water. So at the end of 16, 18 minutes, I have no ammonia left. I have all this stuff still there. I have the pigments still there, the dyes, right? But I don't have peroxide anymore. All I have is water. What's gonna hurt the hair? If anything bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen within the first 16 to 18 minutes. But where is the healthiest hair on the head? On the scalp. So we're working with the healthiest hair possible with a medium that's buffered. And when I say buffered, we don't use the level of ammonias today that we did 20 years ago. They're very, very low. Very, very low. So there is nothing to worry about. It's a system. You have to trust. You ever hear that old trust the system? You have to trust the system. Now, what happens if I use a 40 volume color and at the end of 55 minutes, I still have a client in my chair and I have another client in the sink and the client in the chair has to get out. Can I leave it on longer?
Yeah.
Yes, because all nutrient hair color is non-progressive. Goldwell, Schwarzkopf, Joico, they will go down 1 to a level and a half if you leave them on too long. You can leave our color on all day. Nothing will happen. I've done it. Did I do it at the office with them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, we left one poor girl on almost the whole day with hair color and everybody was freaking out saying, you want me to rinse her off? You want me to rinse her off? No, she's fine. Leave her alone. She's good. Nothing happens. What's gonna happen?
I think it was.
Huh?
About 6 hours.
Yeah, it was a long time. But all you have is all these good things. You don't have any ammonia, you don't have any peroxide, and you get the dyes. So basically what you have is a colorizing conditioning cream on the hair. It's not gonna hurt the hair. The longer you leave it on, the better it is. The longer you leave it on, the better it is. All right? So that's the story on peroxide. That's the story on all nutrient color. Now, the keratin hair color has no ammonia, obviously has AMP. Keratin hair color is the perfect hair color for toning after lightener, for blending, for staining, for balancing, for refreshing, anything where lift is not needed. In other words, I'm gonna stay on level or darker. So if I pre-lighten somebody with foils, I wanna tone them, I am going from a palest blonde back down to a whatever tone I choose. If I'm refreshing someone, Mary Jane comes in, and then leaves here and goes on a cruise. Comes back 2 weeks later. She's been out in the sun, she's been jumped in every pool of a cruise ship, she fell in the ocean every day that she was on vacation, and she comes back and her hair color is faded. Does she need her roots done? No. I can take the keratin hair color with her exact formula from the all nutrient cream color, mix it up with zero lift demi-developer, put it on and refresh her ends within 10 minutes. And it's exactly like it was before she left on vacation. Our shades are compatible, meaning a 6N in cream, this guy, is the same as a 6N in keratin. They're identical shades. All of our keratin colors match our cream color. So we did this on purpose to make this easy for you so that when you get imprinted the tonality, you can make decisions. You know exactly what the lady's formula is. All she has to do is refresh. How hard is it? Pull a color card or go to your computer, get her formula. Instead of mixing it with cream, I mix it with keratin And by the way, you'll see little Ks in the book. That means it's available in keratin. And you can certainly refresh anybody's color. Now, keratin, because of the AMP, it's not a good lifter. But you will get an occasional person that's gonna come in and say, I want an ammonia-free color. And if that happens, you can use the keratin. Will it cover gray 100%? Yes. Will it last as long as cream color? And let them know up front. But there are some people that might have, after COVID, again, COVID changed a lot of things. A lot of people had chronic pulmonary issues. They can't breathe certain vapors, ammonia being one of them. So if a client says, I can't be around ammonia, she can't be around ammonia. She doesn't want gray hair. Well, I can do it with keratin. I'm not gonna give you 4 levels of lift. Not gonna give you 4 levels of lift. Best I can do with 40 volume in the keratin is maybe 2.5, on a good day, 3. Maybe. 2.5 for sure, 3 under optimum conditions. But she has no choice, does she? She wants an ammonia-free, that's all we got, all right? MEA for us was not even a factor. We didn't want to get into MEA. MEA is a very harsh chemical. It's responsible for eye, ear, nose, throat irritations. It itches the scalp, it burns the scalp, it makes your eyes water, it burns your nose, whether you're the stylist or whether you're the customer. These are the complaints of MEA. I don't know if any of you guys have been exposed to a color that's made with MEA. Chi is one of the color lines. There's nothing but MEA. They don't cover gray well. AMP does a much better job with our dyes than MEA with standard dyes. So, all right, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes. Get up, stretch, do your thing, go to the ladies' room, whatever you guys normally do at this time. And then we'll pick up a little bit, and then I promise I won't bore you all afternoon.
Because we don't see them a lot, I would like them to be introduced to it a little more, but just the uncertainty.
Piece of cake, piece of cake.
I've colored my hair it was probably 20 years ago. I did a Schwarzkopf color, and I woke up in the middle of the night.
Scratchy. That's a delayed allergic reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then every hair color after that, same thing, it got worse.
How about almond
Hours. Not near.
Do you clarify first?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
And
put
I
the oil
use
in the towel?
And I use the NE.
Have you ever been tested to see if you're allergic to anything? No. Are you? Any allergies to foods?
The only allergy I know that I have is Bactrim medication, but.
You drink a lot of coffee? You do? Don't drink coffee before you have coffee.
Caffeine?
Caffeine is a vasodilator. So the pores of your scalp, or the blood vessels are
Right.
expanded, so you're saturating in some color. Try that.
Never.
Do it first thing in the morning, before you have your caffeine, and then have your caffeine afterwards.
I don't have a choice when I get my hair colored. It's when my son's
I know.
girlfriend can do it. I'm at school 11 hours a day, Tony.